Uh, I didn't get them. It's just
You need a okay. First thing, I'm gonna send you this for your new house. It's a fly swatter.
that's going to be the housewarming gift.
That's your
Thank you.
housewarming gift. Therefore, I don't have to deal with you going, "God damn this shit."
Uh, yeah, it's just messing with me. I'm gonna get them.
It makes you feel this small when you try to fight a fly, and it just keeps getting the best of you. I know, I get it.
It's not even a fly. It's like a gnat, like a little fruit fly. Something. It's really
Oh, that's even
small.
worse because that's
Yeah,
the fly swatter will do nothing. He'll just laugh at that
yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
I feel like I'm in like a help the children commercial. I don't want to be talking. I got a little bug like on my eyeball.
Like, Terrell, are you okay? Are you
Yeah.
okay, Terrell?
And for just one monthly payment of $5.99.
You can adopt this grown ass black man. Oh, Jesus.
uh,
Hey, I'm Yachty Rude.
and I'm just Terrell. You ever been out to maybe a restaurant or a bar and overheard people having crazy conversations about different topics?
Well, we are those people, and we've been having those conversations since college.
Yes, yes, we have. This is the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast.
And the crazy thing about it is, we didn't start off having these conversations because, if I remember correctly, and see, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the first time we met, I was working in the student center at the front desk,
Yep.
talking to a beautiful young lady, and in
Yeah.
strolls Terrell.
And I don't know what I needed and why I went to the front desk, but I had a question about something. And you, being the great customer service person that you were very helpful. And then I jumped into the conversation, and she was a really attractive young lady.
Hmm.
And, I felt like someone that beautiful needed someone to walk her to class. And since you couldn't do it, I fell on the sword.
Oh my God, I know you hear this nonsense. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry. Continue, continue.
So yeah, I walked her to class and wound up getting her phone number, and was happy to let you know that I got the phone number. And I think that's what started out our hate each other relationship.
Because really and truly, you kind of came back in. Look what I got.
I was proud. I was proud of myself. I
You
thought you
had
wanted to share
no
that
more
moment.
need to be in the student center. You had no reason to be in there.
Yeah, I did it, but it happened. It happened, right? Let go of the past. It's water in the bridge. But the funny thing is how we became friends because we didn't like each other,
Mhm.
and then we both started to pledge a non-Greek fraternity together, and then that's where our bond happened, right? So we were going through that, and then you lived on base, so you were having a long commute to get to campus, and I was an RA in the apartment, so I had like a little efficiency, and I was like, hey, why don't you just stay here and crash on my couch? That way you don't have to go anywhere. And then that's when the two of us became thick as thieves.
Exactly. So it was my second year, and I'd moved off campus and moved back on base, like you said. Um, and we stayed in that efficiency. And the stories that we will never reveal on this podcast.
Yes.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Never,
mm-mm.
never, never.
Some amazing stories, but we will not reveal those. And I think that was for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and then ended up back on campus again in my own spot. And then, but we still remained as thick as thieves, as you said, best
Yep.
friends through it all. And over the years, because then it goes back into even me leaving, because my
Yeah.
decision to leave UTSA, I left. I had 19 credit hours left before I left, right?
Hmm.
And it was interesting. I went to go I knew my parents were leaving, a year before they left, because the military, you kinda know these things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the entire time I'm going, "I'm not going anywhere. I love it in San Antonio. I'm not going anywhere." And then the day before they left, I go down there, they're moving stuff into the truck. I call Terrell and I go, "Hey, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm heading to North Carolina."
Yeah. Yeah. It was that kind of blew my mind. So of course, what did Terrell do? What did college Terrell do? We need to throw a party like right now. And how we pulled that off without social media and all that, because we had a ton of people that came within a matter of hours. We threw one of the best parties on campus that night to send you off, to send you off the right way. And it was fun. I know it was a lot of laughs, a lot of tears, and all that stuff. But we had a ball. I mean, like that. I didn't get the education I wanted during those years of you being there, but I had the most fun in college. Uh, I had the most
Education? Who
fun.
needs that stinking
Yeah,
education?
no, no, I was a terrible student. It's funny. It's like my life. And this is gonna sound bad, but just go with me on this. My
Mm-mm.
life got better when you left.
That's exactly what you want to hear your friends say about you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my life got better when you left because I think after you left, I started to get figure out more what I wanted to do and wanted to move in and to Austin, and then got into the restaurant industry and went to an HBCU in Austin, and then that's where I knew what I wanted to do in my life and graduated and moved on and from the restaurant industry got into recruiting, working in HR for the last 14 years. So yeah, so like my life got better once you kind of moved away. And I'm not saying that because you were there, I was doing terrible, because I don't think that would be fair. All I am saying is that once you left, my life got better.
Well it's funny you should say that because that's kinda what happened to me too. I mean, I was gonna graduate. I was 19 hours away from graduating with a degree I had no idea what I was gonna do with. It was a, humanities degree. What the hell do you
Yeah,
do with a humanities degree? That's just to say I went to college. So,
sell
ended up
weed.
going to, North Carolina, going to an HBCU too. It's funny, but it's almost like mirrors, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I'm at an HBCU. They have a 100,000-watt station on campus. There's a TV studio on campus that nobody was using, so end up getting back into radio and TV, and that way ended up getting a job before I actually graduated. So
Mm.
been in radio. Actually got out of radio for about 6 months because I was underpaid. The funny thing is, I said it was for 6 months, right? Because 6 months later, I got back into radio and took a pay cut to get back into radio. Genius? I don't know.
You follow your passions, man. You're following your passions.
It really did, and it took me in some interesting places and, meeting some interesting people. I mean, I know I've met a lot of celebrities, a lot of officials, but I think the greatest people I've met were the listeners because they're the ones that make the show, and they're the ones that keep you on, and they're the heartbeat of any personality, and definitely loved a lot of it. Went to Vietnam, North Carolina, Chucktown, South Carolina, RVA, Detroit, and Cleveland. And then in the last 18 months, really took an interesting turn. Last year alone, I was in like 3 different states, living in 3, 4 different states. But met my wife.
Mm.
Um, and if you hear any extra noise, it's because we have a little one here. An interesting 18 months. And now Terrell is the last of the Mohegans out of our initial friend group in college at first.
Yeah, yeah, that is pretty crazy. I'm the last, but what's funny is three-quarters of them are all divorced. So there's something to be said about that.
Yeah,
Maybe they
only
shouldn't have gotten
only a
involved in
quarter
the
of us
first
are doing
place.
it right.
Yeah, but that's very true. I am definitely the last of the Mohegans, which I'm fine with. But definitely, give a good shout out to Houston Tillis University and Fayetteville State, producing some great people that are on this podcast today. But being the last is not bad. At least it wasn't bad until this COVID-19 pandemic hit. Because trying to be single in this world, it is hard out in these streets, man. You're not missing anything. You were good where you're at.
If you
It's
thought
it's
filters were
tough.
bad, what about masks?
Yeah.
What's your profile pic?
I mean, you're all out and about, you getting your groceries, and you're like, wow, she's beautiful, but that mask is there. You don't know what's below, what's under that. You have no idea,
It's like driving up
so
to a girl in traffic and, "Yeah, she looks good from here up." She gets out the car and you're like, "Whoa."
yeah, like, hey, what happened? So yeah, but I mean, it's just a different world of how you date, how you get to meet people. Yeah, it's just very different, but I'm still hopeful. I think now I'm about ready. I'm
Yeah.
about ready to get on y'all's level. And so I'll keep you posted throughout like how things are going. And I might ask you for some advice. I might not. 90% towards not. So we'll see.
So, by now you're probably wondering, how did these guys even decide to get on a podcast? And this is why. I'm on the road one day driving, we're having a conversation, and I believe we were talking about Amy Cooper, right?
Yep. Amy Cooper, Central Park lady who didn't want to have her dog on a leash and wanted to
Mhm.
call the police on Chris Cooper and say there's a black man here. I'm feel threatened and all that stuff. That's where it started. And that was an interesting conversation because um,
'Cause you had an interesting take, that's
I
why.
had a different take on it because at first when it happened, I mean, I followed and watched when it first went viral, and then I started following like what's happening to her. And then after about a week later, I started thinking to myself, okay, she messed up huge,
Yeah.
right? the worst 3 minutes of her life. You know, everything that she's built and ruined. She won't be able to get another job doing what she's doing again. Twitter will find out where she works. If she's at Starbucks, she's a barista. Twitter's gonna find her, be like, "Oh, Starbucks, we're hiring racists now. That's what we're doing." So I started thinking, like, what could she do, and when do we let go, and when do we forgive, and let a person be able to come back into society? And I remember I asked you, and you were like, "Never. She's done." But my thought is, okay, if we have that mindset, we're no better than the people who still hate Michael Vick, who served time for the dogs,
Mhm.
right? So at some point, when do you forgive and give someone a second chance? I like a good redemption story. You know, I hope that Amy Cooper, maybe over the course, that apology she gave was weak, but you can't give that apology right after it happens. But maybe she's had some time to think. What if, oh, between now and 2022, she builds two of the best schools in the worst boroughs of New York for people of color? You know, at that point, can we say, all right, come on in here, baby girl, you good? You know, when do we let her go?
I'll tell you when Laura Ingraham stops telling LeBron James to shut up and dribble because he built a school. So pretty much never. I think I was right. I won this argument.
Yeah, well, you know, I just two wrongs don't make it right. That's all I'm saying. Two wrongs don't make it right. So you can go tit for tat, but I don't think anybody wins that way.
All
Uh,
right, I guess.
that's just my take. But that's what started this whole back and forth, because we that was you're on like a good 2 3 hour commute,
Yeah,
and like
three
we
hour
were
and
getting
15-minute
it,
drive.
yeah. And what's funny is all of our conversations have been this way since college. No
Yeah.
matter what we talk about, like we just kind of go down this rabbit hole sometimes, but that's what makes them fun. And we never really seem to always agree.
Yeah, we may agree on one part, but there's some point that some either one of us takes it a whole nother way, and the other person's like, "Yeah, I hear you, but," and that's what this podcast is about, man. We'll share our random thoughts on politics. We'll share our random thoughts on sports, on
Mhm.
entertainment, and even some random bullshit like this guy, your new hero in Nebraska, who wants to ban calling boneless chicken wings.
And he's 100% right. And I stand by that dude. And I might set up a GoFundMe to help him with this cause, because boneless chicken wings is bullshit. It's chicken tenders. That's all it really is.
It's chicken tender nuggets.
Yeah, it's chicken tender nuggets covered in sauce. I applaud him. Not all heroes wear capes. He is right.
He said, "I don't go to the boneless auto repair." I love that comment. And I think my favorite part of that video though was when the guy at the very end of it goes, "I just want to make an announcement. That's my son."
Yeah.
I don't know if it really was his son, but he may have just adopted him immediately.
Yeah, that I thought it was great, and it's his delivery, the delivery of it. Like, he was so serious. Like, I'm like, what is he about to talk about that's really impacting children and all this stuff? And then he said, and I'm talking about boneless chicken wings.
And when people started laughing, he's like, "Hey, I'm trying to have a serious conversation."
It was priceless. I thought it was great. Uh, yeah, so I hope we'll have plenty more stories like that. Um,
We
yeah,
may even
that was
share
just
some
good.
HR tips because you've worked in HR for a while.
Happy to. I mean, a lot of people unemployed right now, so I'd be happy to help some folks out, give some tips here and there on do's and don'ts,
Yeah, because you've
and
hired
some hell
from
knows.
minimum wage all the way up to six-figure jobs, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, and all the approaches for each of those are very different, and it's going to be interesting just to see how this pandemic deals with the unemployment, and how it impacts unemployment, and then how jobs start hiring people, because everybody's going to be remote now. So there's that, right? And some people are actually going to start liking the remote stuff. So we'll see.
Very true. And we'll even dissect some song lyrics because I come across some interesting song lyrics on my job. Like this latest one from Janae Aiko on her song BS when she said, "I saw your new chick. It boosted my self esteem."
Mm, powerful lyrics.
Those lyrics cut to the core. She wasn't singing it to me,
Yeah,
but I felt it. Even though I
yeah.
know my current is better than everything before. So therefore, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
that she wasn't talking about me. However,
yeah. We've all been there in our life where you look at, you happen to run into your ex, and or you see them on social media and you see a picture of them and their boyfriend. You're like, good, good.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
Couldn't do any
That's
better
what I
than me.
thought. Yeah, yeah. Now if they wind up getting like some, they're standing next to Tay Diggs. I'm gonna be like, ah, man, she was a good girl. What was I thinking?
No, I'm gonna say, you know what? He had the worst Caribbean accent of any American actor ever in life. And how Stella got my groove back. I got her groove back. If my father lost his job, I don't know what he would do. They should have told him to get the hell off the set the day he did that shit.
Hey, I've been to St. Kitts. I mean, it was pretty close. It was pretty close.
Don't you start that bullshit. Don't you start it. You gonna end this podcast before it even begins. Jesus Christ. Le- We'd love for you to join us and take part in our random thoughts, take part in some of our bullshit. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you follow us. I'm Yanni Rude.
I'm just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us too at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at RGRT Pod.
Yes, send us some of your random thoughts so we can talk about them on the show.
And some of your bullshit.
And some of your bullshit.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. We'll see you on the 15th.
All right.